Well, good morning. My name is Brent Gove. I am excited to be here today to tell you about eXp Realty. Now, before I kind of get into the details and what it's about, why everyone's so excited, why it's the fastest growing model in the country today, I want to tell you real quick just a little bit about me, a little bit of background about your speaker here. I've been in real estate for 25 years. My first 12 years were at RE/MAX. My next 8 years were at Keller Williams. I really liked both companies greatly. And then I joined eXp 4 years ago. And what I'm about to tell you is what happened over the past 4 years. The greatest business decision of my life. It's like being at Apple when they started, being at Google when they started, Facebook, YouTube, Netflix, Amazon. In the beginning, those people, it's pretty special. So let's get into what eXp is all about. Now, in order to tell the story, I have to tell you about this man, Glenn Sanford. Once in a while, there's that special person that comes along. What I mean by that is there's 2 million agents and brokers throughout the US and Canada, but everybody has ideas on how to do it better. But he not only conceptualized the idea, he created eXp Realty and built it out. Today it exists, it's a cloud-based brokerage. It exists with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of support staff and employees for the agents, for our broker associates. And to kind of explain the whole cloud-based thing, I mean, you're all familiar with Netflix is a great example. This is a cloud-based solution to a brick and mortar problem. Blockbuster didn't think it was a problem. They were doing $5 billion a year. They were the 800-pound gorilla. They took out everybody. Remember? I mean, it's like a McDonald's or a Starbucks in every quarter and a Blockbuster. And they were at the height of their strength when Netflix came along, tried to sell their idea to Blockbuster. What a perfect company to buy it. They made the biggest $50 million, they're a $5 billion company. $50 million, I heard, is what they offered it. They passed. And so Netflix went and did what they said they could do, point and click, get a movie without having to drive down to Blockbuster and rent a movie, and half the time they're out. And so guess what? You know the rest of the story. Netflix took over. You look at Amazon. It started with books. Last year, the year before, they put out 8,000 major retail chains. Largest corporation in the world. They employ more people than any other company in the world. A truly Cinderella story. And then you got eXp Realty taking on traditional brokerages, shaking it up, doing it differently. I mean, isn't that what Uber and Lyft did to Yellow Cab? Isn't that what Travelocity and Trivago did to your travel agent? How about iTunes and Pandora and YouTube? People could do digital downloads of music instead of going to the record store. Remember a record store? Some of you don't even know what I'm talking about. But technology has always been there, and it's speeding up. And you could either be a part of it or get left behind. So eXp's got an amazing story of success. And there's really 4 pillars of eXp. Number 1 is leads. We help agents with leads. You need leads. You can have great training, but if you don't have leads, you're done. So we actually start with leads. I worked at RE/MAX 12 years. I think I got 3 leads in 12 years. I went to Keller Williams for 8 years. I don't think I ever got a lead from Keller Williams in 8 years. Now they said, well, we teach you how to fish. I get that. But what if we teach you how to fish too and give you leads? What's wrong with combining the two? That's pretty powerful when you combine the two. So we're not going to necessarily give you the leads, but we're going to give you tools to help you get anywhere from 60 to 100 leads a month on top of whatever it is you currently do. So I'm going to get into that more, so hang in there. But the 4 pillars, again, leads, and then there is training and education, and then there is stock ownership, equity, and then the 4th pillar is revenue share. Again, leads, training and education, stock awards, and revenue share. Those are the 4 pillars of eXp. It's why it's the fastest growing model in the world. And now we're going to get into the details, kind of into the weeds of what all that means and why we are blown up and just became a $10 billion company. It's very exciting. Pillar number 1, lead generation. I've never experienced it in 20 years. eXp actually helps in that area. We work with a company called 𝗃𝗀𝗃𝗃. Google them. K as in Kevin, V as in Victory, Corps as in the Marine Corps. Look them up. Watch their demos. Incredible. People pay $600 a month for this platform all day, every day for 1 year. That's a lot of money. Every eXp agent gets one for our $50 a month tech fee. $600 a month on your own or $50 a month with EXP. They also get a Regis Corporate Suite membership. They also get 𝗫𝗟𝗏. They also get Breakthrough Broker. All 4 things for our $50 a month tech fee. So the cool thing, lead generation, again, 𝗃𝗃𝗀𝗁, once you get it set up, and it does require a marketing budget. We give you the Ferrari. We give you a highly tuned BMW or Mercedes, but you got to put the gas in. Marketing dollars is the gas. You need to spend at least about $250. It's optional. You do not have to. But if you're willing to spend $250 a month marketing your website that EXP is going to give you, a 𝗃𝗃𝗀𝗁 website, most of our agents see anywhere from 60 to 80 to 100 leads a month. Well, at 100 leads a month, honestly, it's 2 to 3 leads a day is pretty much what you're going to get. A lead at 10, a lead at 4, maybe a lead at 6. And you're probably going to sell a home a month or 2. And if you're brand new, it may take you a month or 2 to sell a home or 2. But you call, it's getting you to the plate. You're swinging the bat, swinging the bat, swinging the bat. And when you get good, I've had people sell 2, 3, 4 homes their first month. That is a big deal. So on top of whatever you're doing, well, I don't like internet lead conversion. You know why? You've probably never done it. But if you just quickly return them, call them back in 60 seconds, the speed that you return that call, you're going to get a listing. You're going to put a buyer in escrow. And in a lot of markets, that's like a $10,000 a month deal. And if you do 12 of those in 12 months, that's an additional $120,000 a year for your family. So leads, pillar number 1, is huge. And we help with that at eXp Realty. Now, the next one is training and education. We do live events. Here's a huge one we did here in Sacramento. They're the biggest events in Sacramento. Great stuff. We want to refine the agent. We want to build in assets and equity and help and really make them better at luxury real estate, at commercial real estate, at hiring their first assistant or their first buyer's agent or building a team. We work on it just like everybody else does, but we are after it. But they're showing up to our stuff. I asked the title reps and the home warranty, who else is doing that? Nobody. And so we are boom, and it's very exciting. Plus, we do virtual training. We have 10 to 15 live classes a day. You could raise your hand in the world, in the virtual world, and you can interrupt the commercial guy talking about commercial, the contract review broker doing contract review in your state. Hey, I have a question. I don't understand liquidated damages. What about arbitration? What about a notice to perform? Is it 24 hours? Is it 48 hours? Do the weekends count? You know, all that kind of stuff. We have this in the world 10 to 15 times a day. If you want to be learning based, and you should, you could invert that learning curve and get good fast. Isn't that excellent English? And if you get good fast, you're going to sell more homes. And selling more homes will change the life of your husband, your wife, your children. It's a part of making your dreams come true, or you could suffer. Your choice. Long and slow. Don't learn, go to a few classes here or there, or really start plugging in, challenging yourself. Staying in the realm of being uncomfortable. Even coming to EXP, it's always uncomfortable. When I left Remax and went to Keller Williams, it was uncomfortable. When I left Keller Williams and went to EXP, it was a little bit uncomfortable. But every time it was better for my career. So I want to challenge you to take the next step in the evolution of your real estate process. And I'm telling you, it's EXP. So we have leads, we have training. Both are vital at EXP. And this leads to production. This leads to sales volume. This leads to being successful in leading in your city and in your state. 4 years ago, the first sign panel was me. There was no production. I helped bring production. You will help bring production to your city. Coldwell Banker had to start somewhere. Remax had to start somewhere. Keller Williams had to start somewhere. And EXP is starting somewhere, but they're going to take over. They are the next big thing in the market, and they're going to have a 10, 15, 20-year run, no problem, maybe 30 years, because they're the only company in the world making their agents owners, which is the third pillar, the stock and the equity. Probably one of the most exciting pillars. Honestly, I didn't understand it 4 years ago. I didn't understand the value. It's something that our children can inherit. It's called equity. It's called stock. It's called appreciation. I have friends that started with Yahoo and became like multi-millionaires. They were there at the beginning. I had friends who started with UPS and became millionaires through the stock at UPX. We've heard about Microsoft billionaires and Facebook billionaires. The people that were there, and you're at the beginning of a movement. Are you too late? We have 2% of the market. There's 45,000 of us. You're at the beginning of a wave. There's 2 million agents and brokers in North America. We are 45,000. You like our stock at 45,000? Wait till we have $250,000 and all that revenue and profitability comes in. The stock may go up, it may go down. I'm not allowed to say what it's going to do. And past performance is no guarantee of future performance, but I can tell you this, my wife and I bought a lot of stock last week at $160 a share before it split. We are certain about the future of this company for us. You be certain for you. But they're stock awards. You don't have to buy it. They're going to give it to you for hitting certain sales metrics as follows. When you sponsor someone at EXP, when they close their first sale, you get stock. You know, at Remax, I watched Dave Liniger become a billionaire. At Keller Williams, I watched Gary Keller become a billionaire. At EXP over the past 4 years, I watched Glenn Stanford become a multi-billionaire. I became a multimillionaire. That's the difference. That didn't happen at my prior 2 companies. And I'm watching this happen to everybody, not just me. Well, not everybody, but a lot of people. Some people just have 30,000, 80,000, 180, $500,000, $1 million. They are thrilled. It doesn't matter what they have. They're excited. I get trophies and plaques for 20 years. At EXP, we give those out too, but we also give you an equity position. It's a big deal. You're going to earn stock awards through sales metrics. When you our cap is 16,000 EXP, you get stock. If you refer an agent and they join EXP, you get stock. Someone says, is there a limit to how many people I refer? No. So I can refer 10 people and get 10 stock awards? Yep. I referred 40, over 40 in my first 10 months. I got 40 stock awards. Could I refer 60? You can refer as many as you want. The bigger you help EXP grow, the more they bring you in that ownership equity position through the shares of stock. It's a big deal. And you think, well, I'm not a recruiter. That's like saying you're not a listing agent. You're a listing agent if you decide to be a listing agent. You just have to learn how to do it. I was 10 years in before I made that decision. It's the highest form of leverage is recruiting. First, it's buyers. Then it's listings. We all know listings have babies. They spin off sign calls, internet leads, family, friends, neighbors, coworkers. And then you build a team and you have 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 agents and you get paid 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 times a month. And then you buy a franchise. But the ultimate form of leverage is recruiting. So stop saying you're not a recruiter. I will help you recruit. The person who buy you, let's put a pretty word on it. We'll call it attract. We'll call it sponsor. At Keller Williams, we called it sponsoring people. You sponsor a child in Africa to eat. We do that too. So if that makes you happier, let's put a friendlier word on it and call it sponsor. I'm going to help you. The person who's having you watch it, you're going to get help. You may not be wondering if you could do it, but I'm telling you, we'll help you do it. And it pays major dividends for you and your family. Today, I have people with me. One of my top buyers agents on the Brent Gove team is here, Cindy Silva. And Cindy, you came here 4 years ago. And you were kind of born and raised at Keller Williams with me. I taught you real estate, right? And when I told you, hey, I made a decision as the leader, we're going to EXP, you were like, what?
Yes.
Yes.
I was not very happy.
No, you weren't. And I pretty much had to beg you to trust me, correct?
That is correct.
And you took a step in faith after your husband said, what did he say to you?
Brent has never steered us in the wrong direction. You got to put your trust in him.
And so you took a step in faith. Today, how much stock have you and Jared acquired in EXP after 4 years of being here?
Over $1 million.
That's kind of a big deal. Huge. And we had been at Keller Williams for that time, and we had trophies and plaques, right? Mm-hmm. But $1 million worth of stock is big. And then we have Joe right behind you. Joe and Marguerite Crispello, they owned an independent. They had as many as 130, 40 agents working for them, 2 or 3 offices. The classic, it was a franchise at the time, actually. And they joined as independents, though, when they joined 4 years ago. And Joe, over the last 4 years, how much stock have you and Marguerite acquired, roughly, altogether?
Almost 3 million, 2.9 million, basically.
2.9 million. Did this mean anything to you and Marguerite?
Yeah, it's life-changing.
It's life-changing. And then Sean Work, my dear friend. Sean and I have known each other 20 years. We go way back to Remax school days. I migrated to Keller. He migrated to Keller. I think he might have even beat me to Keller Williams. And then I had to beg him to come to EXP for 1.5 years. He was like, no. It was like when Keller was growing. But he finally made the jump. He's a Wall Street top 100 agent in America. And so you've been here 2.5 years?
2.5, yep.
2.5 years. And how much stock have you acquired for your retirement, your family, the future?
$1.5 million. $1.5 million
which is
amazing.
In 2.5 years.
And I'm excited to see where it goes from here.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
so you're not going to sell it and cash out your
$1.5 million? Not
long
term.
But This company is growing like crazy, and that is what we're talking about here, equity opportunities. And then finally, there's an Icon Agent Award. If you cap and do 20 sales, you can earn up to $16,000 a year. You do have to show up to our shareholder event and sign in. It's virtual. It's pretty easy to do. You teach a class once a year in the cloud. Super easy to do. What are you good at? LinkedIn? You good at video marketing, social media? Offer a class. If 5 people show up, great. If 500 people show up, great. It's virtual. I didn't have to pay for the hall. You don't have to pay for that stuff. Big money. Not at EXP. We're highly efficient. And then finally, we have an optional agent equity program. Our founder, Glenn Sanford, actually created a program for the agents to have equity. I mean, think of all the other firms. Coldwell Banker, Century 21, RE/MAX, Independence, big firms. Did they create an agent equity program? Like, how do we get our agents to have equity? Tell me about your agent equity program. Tell me about it. Probably doesn't exist, right? Let's be honest. So here's ours. It's optional. You don't have to do it, but you could sign up, set it and forget it. 5% of every closing gets to buy EXPI stock. That's our moniker, EXPI. Watch it, track it. We're publicly traded on the NASDAQ. Multi-billion-dollar, one of the hottest. One of my friends who buys a lot of stock, he says my best 3 performing stocks last year were Apple, Tesla, and EXP, baby. We're being mentioned with Apple and Tesla for top performing stocks. Check it out. Talk to your stockbroker about it. It's incredible. But you get a 10% discount, and so that's pretty cool, and you can acquire a lot of stock this way, and we've been growing and growing. All right, here we go. So here's our 4th and final pillar. For me, it was the most exciting pillar. For years and years and years, I've referred people to RE/MAX. I got Starbucks gift cards, and I think I might have got dinner or lunch one time and a couple weekend trips to Ensenada, those $299 weekend cruises. In 12 years, that was it. And that's fine. I didn't care. That's how it worked. I go to Keller Williams, they have profit sharing. I refer 55 people. I start getting a little profit sharing. They would help create profit in the particular franchise they went to. If the franchise was profitable, I get a little bit of profit share. It was averaging like $700 a month, so that was pretty cool. But let me talk to you about our 4th pillar. It's a powerful pillar. It's why I left my brokerage that I loved. I didn't like Keller Williams. I loved it. And once I understood this, I had to leave. You gotta listen close. So here's how it works. This is the $16,000 cap at EXP. What Glenn Sanford did that was absolutely brilliant is he saved the first $2,800 on top for the referring agent. So if you sponsor somebody, and we'll call you the referring agent, and you sponsor them, if they cap, you get $2,800. Now in Sacramento, our average price is $400,000, so you sell about 7 homes to cap. Typically, okay? So what if an agent only sells like 3 or 4 homes, like a half cap? Then you get half the $2,800, you get $1,400. What if they only sell 1 or 2? Well, A, they probably shouldn't be in real estate, but we all know agents who sell 1 or 2 homes a month. They would be what's called a quarter cap. So you get a quarter of $2,800, which would be about $700. In other words, every time there's a closing, say here in the month of, pick a month in July, the following month, August 22nd, there's revenue share. If there's closing in January, the following month, February 22nd, the 22nd of the following month, there is revenue share. So it's pretty great. So let me explain how this works. If you tell 5 or more people about EXP, they unlock tier 2. They're gonna compensate you even more. Not only do you get the $2,800, now you get $3,200. If you tell 10 or more about EXP, you sponsor, you refer, you attract, whatever word you wanna put on it, you actually unlock the 3rd tier. It's compensation for contribution. Try that at your local company. Go send 10, 15, 20, 30 agents to your local company. Would they benefit from that? Absolutely, if they're productive agents, big time. How are you compensated? Most companies cannot compensate you because they're in literally bricks and mortar. They got to heat, cool, insure, turn the lights on, insure, janitorial, coffee, phone systems and copiers and front desk people and tenant improvements and technology and computers. It's a massive overhead operation. They really can't. They're barely making it in most cases as it is. So here at EXP, it grows in increments of 5 till you get to 25. You refer 25 people in like 6 generations, 6 tiers. This is copied from Keller Williams. They've been doing it 25 years, except their profit share. And you don't know what that's going to be. You can refer somebody who sells 60 homes a year, but if the franchise you refer them to is not making money, there is no profit to share. That's how profit sharing works. It's kind of brilliant actually, but at EXP, We don't have the overhead, so we're just clean revenue share off the top. It's a beautiful thing. If you get to 40, it actually unlocks tier 7. I did that in like in 10 months, and you get 4,000 an agent unlimited. James, when we got there, I think we were 10 months in. Would we have like 10 people who were capping agents?
Yep.
So that's 10 times 4. That's 40,000 a year from just one of our 7 levels. It took 10 months to get there. Well, it might take me 2 years to get there. Okay, 2 years. It might take me 5 years. Great, let's get you there. How would you like to make 40,000 a year from just one of your 7 levels? And then there's level 6, all that through. Okay, now this is exciting. For those of you that you're thinking, well, I already make $700,000, $1 million a year, $1.5 million, 348,000 is a pay cut. Remember, this was just with you telling 10. I told 40 in my first 10 months. So I ended up with quadruple this number, okay? So you do the numbers. Also, this is just showing two of our tiers. So what we have here is a 7-tier system. When these kick in, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, it can be a lot more. For example, I said earlier, it took me about 10 months to get to the 7th tier, and we had 10 people there that were capping, which was 40,000 a year. But then I think a year later, what do we have, about 400?
Yep.
And then a year after that, probably 800 or 900, I don't know, something like that. Absolutely. Sound about right? How about this? This is more exciting. You ready? My operations manager is here in the room today watching this. James Stroop, my operations manager. How many agents and broker associates do we have on my 7th tier today?
We have 2,220.
2,220. Let's just say 1,000 of them cap. They're in a market where they have to sell 6, 7, 8 homes a year to cap. 1,000 of those cap. You get 4,000 an agent unlimited. So if there's 1,000, well, let's just do 100 to make the math easy. That's 400,000. Then multiply that times 10, and then you can get to some pretty crazy numbers, and that's just one of the 7 levels. There's a reason Dave Lindiger's a billionaire, and Gary Keller's a billionaire, and Berkshire Hathaway, Warren Buffett. Of course, he made his billions before then, but there's a reason there's big money in real estate. You can do some great things if we want to build a large, flourishing sales organization. With me, with the person who brought you here, we will all help you. Even if you're not in my group, one team, one dream, Team EXP, because your success, even if you're not in my 7 tiers, benefits me greatly because EXP will do well if you do well. And I own stock in EXP. We own this baby together. This is the first agent-owned, agent-led, everyone says agent-centric, but agent-owned, agent-led worldwide effort. I'm telling you, let me tell you right now, straight up, in the next 10 years, we're going to have 1 million agents in 100 countries in the next 10 years. This is going to happen. So how long have you been in real estate? 10 years? 20 years? 30 years. I have friends who've been doing it over 40, 45 years. How much cash flow do you have coming in outside of real estate? I own rentals. I have 17 rentals. That's great. What's the cash flow after you pay the rents and you pay the mortgage? They pay the rents, you pay the mortgage. Well, I've got 5 of them paid off. Great. But after you pay property management, I do it myself. Great. But after you pay for all the repairs and pay for, maybe some of them don't pay the rent, you got to pay an attorney to get them out. What do you really net when it's all done and said? Let's be honest here. For most people, it's nothing or not much. So to have 348,000, my thought 4 years ago was I could do this. At least I think I could do it. At least I'm going to try. And so I left the company I love, Keller Williams, to try to do this. 6 months later, I'd done it. I told 10 in my first 12 weeks. That's like 1 a week almost. And within 6 months, they'd all told 10. It didn't take 5 years. It took 6 months. Now, it may take you 5 years. It may take you 10 years. I don't know. We're all different. The average agent sells 6. You may sell 16 homes a year. You may say 116 homes a year. We're all different. It's up to the work ethic and what you put into it. But I'm going to help you do it. The person who brought you here, who's watching, will help you do it. There's a whole team of people. They're going to help you do this. Let's go worst case. You can't do it. The split's 80-20, the cap's 16 grand, and you win some stock awards for sales production. That's worst case. I don't know, that doesn't sound so bad to me. And but what if I don't like it? Then go back to the brokerage you came from. And they're going to go, look, if you come back, we'll put you at 100% for a year, and here's a free office. And they're going to parade you around. Look, he tried EXP, it didn't work. You will make money even if you fail at EXP. You're going to make money because your old brokerage is going to recruit you back, or somebody will, on a high split, a free office, probably even promise you some leads. Now, one great point, what Glenn Sanford did this last year, which is absolutely brilliant and why the stock is skyrocketing, is he kicked in the 50-50 initiative. And what the 50-50 initiative is, he guaranteed to take half of all the revenues of EXP and pay it out to the agents through revenue share. So for example, if he brings in $2 billion in revenues, $1 billion goes to the agents this year. That's you, that's me, agents and broker associates. Very exciting. And as our company grows and thrives, those numbers can explode. In other words, I'm telling you, it's possible that you actually get paid more than we're showing you on the board. Very exciting. I love the 50-50 initiative. So who do you talk to about EXP? Anyone throughout the US and Canada, and anyone in 9 countries. There they are. Canada, we're in 9 provinces of Canada. We're in the UK, we're in South Africa, we're in Mexico, we're in Australia, we're in Portugal, we're opening in, I think we just opened in France. We just opened Puerto Rico, I know that. Brazil, Italy, Hong Kong, there's talk of Malaysia, the Philippines, other countries. Don't know if they'll open this year or not, but I actually believe, I would not be surprised if we open 9 additional countries this year. We're currently in 9. That'll put us in 18 countries worldwide. Why was it not a big deal for me when Coldwell Banker International? Because my folks worked there for 25 years. They were 55-year real estate brokers. I'm a second-generation real estate guy. Why? It didn't mean anything to me. It was good for Coldwell Banker, but not me or my parents' Coldwell Banker agents. When RE/MAX went worldwide, it was kind of cool. Hey, RE/MAX is around the globe. But what did it mean to me in Sacramento, California? The answer is it meant nothing. Maybe bragging rights. Same thing, Keller Williams began to expand globally. That's awesome. Profit share is calculated from your local office. If you sponsor an agent, is that particular franchise profitable? Not Keller Williams International, what they're doing around the globe. So what it means to you is nothing. But what it means, I mean, it maybe make you proud about your company and some bragging rights, but at EXP, if an agent in West Palm Beach is killing it, if an agent in Denver or Bozeman, Montana or Seattle or British Columbia or Victoria or Ontario or Calgary or Hong Kong or Italy is killing it, it makes EXP more valuable. And it means everything to you and to me because you are a shareholder. Instead of a trophy and a plaque, and by the way, we give out trophies and plaques and recognition too, but is it terrible to get a stock award? I know 4 years ago when I joined EXP, a guy from New Jersey, you know how those guys are from New York and the Bronx and New Jersey, he's like, it's a gimmick. You know, I'm trying to do my best New Jersey accent. It's a gimmick. I go, what do you mean? Is that $16,000 stock award? I paid in 16, they give me a 16,000. He goes, you don't know what that'll be worth. And it's 3-year vesting. You can't touch it for 3 years. We copied Keller Williams profit sharing. They have 3-year vesting, so we have. It's brilliant, by the way. And he goes, you don't know what it's worth. I'd rather have a check. And I kind of thought at the same time, I think I would too, because I come from a real estate family. We buy real estate. We flip homes. We invest in real estate. We're not big stock market people. And so at the time, I'm thinking, yeah, I come with him. I think I would have rather have my 16 grand back. But EXP, thank you, Glenn Sanford. You know what? He gave me stock. He said, someday we may not be something now. It was a penny stock. We were not on the NASDAQ. But someday we're going to be something. And I asked him, I said, who do you work for? He said, Berkshire Hathaway. I go, well, do you have any stock awards or anything? He goes, nope. And I go, so if you cap and do 20 sales, and the guy was selling like 35 homes a year, so he would have capped and qualified for Icon Award. What do you get? He goes, well, nothing. I go, that sounds like more of a gimmick to me. You know, I'll take the $16,000 stock award and hope for the best. 5 years ago, I paid X to Keller Williams. 15 years ago, I paid X to RE/MAX. I never got it back, not even the face value. Didn't expect to. You pay, your broker's got to make something. At EXP, we make you a part of the process. A rising tide rises all ships. It is amazing. You need to check it out. In fact, once you understand the equity position of an agent or broker associate at EXP, and you understand the revenue sharing component, and the training, the education, Regis and open the spaces, KV Core, the lead generation, our production goes, sales volume, we care about the client, we serve the client by training the agent at the highest possible level and pouring into the agent, making them better. RE/MAX never did a thing for those 400 clients that I sold in 1 year. It was myself and my team that did all the marketing. We served the clients. And when we came to Keller Williams in 2009, Keller Williams did nothing for my clients. Your brokerage doesn't, they list with you, you work at Century 21 or Coldwell. Coldwell, Century 21 doesn't do anything. You do the work as the agent or broker. That level of service you gave at Century 21, if you move to Sotheby's or Christie's or RE/MAX, you gave the same level. RE/MAX is not going to do anything for your client. And so this is what you got to understand at EXP. It's the whole picture. It's very exciting. And as we grow internationally, it's a big deal for you. Again, a rising tide rises all ships. And so maybe the way I could put it is this way. At all brokerages, everybody helps people in the United States with the dream of home ownership. But the difference is we also help agents with the dream of retirement. So Workplace, the back office, shows you all your escrows, shows you what's closing, when it's closing, if the file is clear, if you have stock, how much stock you have, when it's vested, what has vested, what you could push a button and sell out of your E-Trade account or Ameritrade account. And then this is great. If you're watching this at home, at your office, wherever you're watching this, get your camera out, take a screenshot of this. This is a summary sheet of how EXP functions. I paid desk fees, royalty fees, and franchise fees for decade after decade. For over 20 years, I put 12 years into RE/MAX, as you know, 8 years into Keller Williams, as you know. Both world-class franchises, great companies, wonderful people. But I paid desk fees, royalty fees, and franchise fees for years and years and years, decade after decade. I come to EXP, it's a national and international real estate company. You can't buy an EXP franchise, they're not for sale. You can't buy your way in, but you can build your way in. Think, well, I don't want to recruit anybody. Don't. I have agents that have just simply changed where they sold their real estate, won stock award after stock award, and have $3 million worth of stock today. That is a big deal by changing where you sell your real estate. And so here's the split. There it is. You want to know? 80-20. Pretty generous. I started 25 years ago on a 50-50. Anybody else? Maybe a 60-40, 70-30. All of our agents start at 80-20 because we don't have the overhead. We can pay you better. If you have more money, you can market your listings more. You can serve the client. You have more money to market your listings and serve the client at a higher level because there's more money in your pocket. Now, I meet clients all the time. Well, I'm at an 80-20 at my company. No, you're not. What do you mean? Well, I'm at Coldwell Banker. I'm at Century 21. I'm at RE/MAX, Sotheby's, Christie's, Berkshire Hathaway. Those are all franchises. Every one of them, almost without exception, charges a 6% franchise fee. They always go, oh yeah. So you're not at an 80-20, you're at a 74-26. They get 26% of every sale you make, you get 74. At EXP, we're not a franchise. When we say 80-20, it's actually 80-20. And then we make it better. We cap it at $16,000. So say, for example, in your market where your average commission is 10 grand. If they get 20%, that would be 2. And then if you do 8 sales, what is that? 2,002 times 8 is 16,000. You capped. So a lot of people cap in like 7, 8, 9 sales. They cap. And if they do that in 6 months, that makes the next 6 months, they're not on an 80-20, they're at 100%. Your sales manager, your broker, wherever you are, you're not a recruiter, it's going to distract you. That's like saying you're not a listing agent. No, you should be a listing agent. It's one of the highest forms of leverage. You know what the highest form of leverage is? Recruiting. Make no mistake, Dave Liniger got out of showing property and taking listings and production, and he got into the highest form of leverage called recruiting and built RE/MAX. And then Gary Keller used to show property and take listings. Then he built a small team and had that little independent brokerage with Dave Williams, Keller Williams. Then he bought out Dave, and he got into the highest form of leverage, recruiting. And he went on to build Keller Williams International, of which all of us just worked there. We'd say, man, they're debt free. It's privately owned. It's amazing. That's like saying, I've lived in this home for 25 years. The seller paid it off. It's privately owned. It's debt free. It's amazing. And how much do you have? I never really thought about that, but nothing. It's like, But you don't understand, my landlord will actually clean the pool. He mows and edges the lawn. If I need anything, he takes care of it while you paid off the house. Think about it. We're always telling people to buy assets, buy commercial real estate, buy residential real estate. What do? Rent. What do? Work for a big franchise. How's that working out for you? How long can you work this hard? How long can you keep going, grinding it? Well, I love it. I love it. I loved it too. But I tell you what, I had an 18 agent team doing over $100 million a year. Now I'm able to impact a lot more people than 18 agents and serve hundreds. I think this past year we closed. We got the numbers for last year. Do you remember the numbers? Closed mortgages, US, Canada, and the UK and Australia, and there was some South Africa in there.
7 levels, there were 40,207 transactions we closed.
40,207 families served by EXP agents and their families. You learn. If you will learn this model, it's financially irresponsible to be anywhere else. Keep asking questions. Make a commitment to me right now. Here's a commitment I want you to make. make a commitment to stay in curiosity about the model. Stay where you are. Don't leave right now. Stay, but learn. And you're either going to expose it for what it is, a fraud, apparently a $10 billion on the NASDAQ publicly traded fraud, or you're going to learn that it's the real deal and you're going to be a part of it. Don't be like me. I resisted Netflix, till Netflix was huge. I was like, Amazon, what's that? No way. Uber, I'm not getting in someone's cab, but you know what? Uber succeeded in spite of my ignorance, in spite of my unwillingness to change, because I'm in my 50s and I don't embrace technology. It's just a miracle that I'm even here. I think technology is a good cup of coffee and a yellow notepad, but even I can make it at EXP. So it's really cool. So here's our model, 80-20 split, $16,000 cap, then you go to 100. Startup fees, $149 one time, $85 a month is our cloud brokerage fee. Again, $50 is a technology fee, $35 a university educational fee, it's $85 a month. And then there is a $25 broker review fee, and then $40 risk management fee, $40 per sale risk management fee, capped at $500 a year. Now, if heaven forbid you only sell 2 homes this year, you only pay $80. You don't have to pay the balance up to $500. I only sell 4 homes, then you're going to pay $160 for your E&O, errors and omissions, to insure in case there is some sort of a problem with the transaction. You have insurance to cover it, like you do auto insurance. If you get a wreck on the freeway, it's covered. And so it's pretty reasonable, and the max is $500 a year. By the way, once you're at 100%, it does kick in a $250 transaction fee. Now, for you big ballers out there that sell 300 homes a year, 600 homes a year, you're going to be likely qualify for what's called our Mayor Icon Team program. You have to have at least 10 agents, do over 40 million years in sales, and do a minimum of 175 transactions. If you check all those boxes, then you can be offered the Mega Icon Team program, which is you only pay $75 per transaction, not the $250. Well, that's not fair. They get a better deal than the rest of us. You build what they built, you can have the same deal. It is very fair, because when they do, some of these people do 500. We have teams that do 600, 800, 1,000 deals. We have a team that's going to do $1 billion this year. They pay $75 a deal. It's very fair. Their team gets health care. By the way, we have health care now. In fact, Cindy, your husband lost his coverage. You went to EXP. You found the coverage had vision and dental. Your other one didn't. And the price was even better. Is that right?
Yes, and it was a very simple, easy process, which I did not expect at all.
Absolutely. So it's brilliant. Very, very good. So these are our fees. This is our structure. Again, not a franchise. You can't buy your way in. You got to build your way in. And most people would rather write a check for $100 grand, $200 grand. You got to put your chin on the line. You got to talk to people. But I'm telling you what, man, the floodgates are opening. It's very exciting. Now, here's something for you commercial brokers out there. This is exciting. This is like going to change the world of commercial real estate. Ready for this? The split is 80-20. Unheard of. Commercial brokers, 50-50, 60-40, maybe 70-30. The stars, 80-20. Every EXP commercial agent / broker is 80-20. The cap, there's no cap in commercial, rarely if ever, $20,000 a year. $20,000 a year. Now here's the best part. If you make over $500,000 GCI, they give it back to you in the form of EXPI stock, $20,000 worth of stock. So effectively, what did it cost you to be at EXP? Nothing. Now there's a $250 a month technology fee in commercial, but you get Reonomy, Data Tree, and Build Out Elite. It's a top of the line CRM. I mean, we spared no expense. All 3 of those for $250 a month. It's crazy good. There is a $350 a month per commercial transaction E&O charge, which maxes at $5,000 a year. And those of you easy E&O brokerages, you could spend $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a year on your E&O, so to max out at $5,000 a year max. And those of you that just do 4 or 5 commercial deals a year, big ones with the big commission checks, you're only paying $350 a deal. It's wonderful. Finally, there is a $250 per transaction broker review fee, because commercial packages are quite a bit more involved, and so the broker for commercial gets a $250 broker review fee for the package. All in all, it's a great opportunity if you want to build EXP commercial. EXP core values, we have them in spades. My favorite one is fun. I tell you what, EXP, making real estate fun again. We're going to Cabo. We have 1,000 people flying in for our mastermind in the tropics. In August, we have Tony Robbins flying in. We have an event. Tony Robbins will be there the third day. It's like $197 for 3 days. Tony Robbins, the third day for $197. 6,000 of us are going to be there. It's going to be incredible. People from all over the world. So bottom line, if you've seen enough, you're like, I cry uncle, I want to join EXP. Call the person who had you watch this, tell them I want to do this. And your next step is to go to join.exprealty.com. Do not go there alone. Go there with the person who had you watch this. Have them help you fill out the onboarding. You get stuck somewhere, it times out. You got to start over. If you're like me, that drives you crazy. So it is imperative that you go there with the person who had you watch this. Tell them, Brent Gove says, you have to go here with me and help me onboard. And there's a pot in there where it says sponsor. That's where you put their name, the person who turned you on to this. That's where I put 𝗍𝗵𝗏𝗪 on. I literally watched this and she says, are you serious about due diligence? I said, yes. She goes, type this in your browser, join.exprealty.com. I said, yes. And then she says, now you're going to see an EXP Realty application. You're not joining EXP, you're just making application. EXP actually will vet you. They're going to check you out. And then they will send you an approval letter if you pass the test, because they're going to see if you've got complaints against you with the Department of Real Estate in your state or province of Canada or wherever you in the world. And as long as your license is clean and in good standing with the local board, they will issue an approval letter saying, welcome to EXP, you're free to move your license when you like, but until you move your license, you're at your old brokerage. This is the next step, and you want to do that with the person who invited you here. There's Glenn Sanford the day we went on the NASDAQ. We're up there with Apple and PepsiCo and Intel and Cisco. A very exciting day. Here he is. It was an honor. They allowed, there's Glenn in the middle, all the executive board of directors, key people at our company. There he is hitting they used to have a closing bell, but it was driving the traders crazy. So they now have a button and then stuff goes off. It's very exciting. And there's our first day on the NASDAQ. Since then, we've grown billion after billion after billion after billion. It's very exciting. Keep in mind, RE/MAX is 1.5 billion market cap. Last I looked, Coldwell Banker was 1.9 billion, and we're up around 10 billion. The proof is in the numbers. It is undeniable. And then, of course, there's Tony Robbins. You might know that guy. I've been in real estate for 20 years. I never had Tony show up at any of the events that my prior brokerages were at. But we hired Tony to come out and speak. He's going to be there the third day, our final keynote. We think he'll do the job just fine. Amazing guy. Cannot wait to hear Tony Robbins. Over 6,000 people at our event in Dallas. It's at the Gaylord Resort. And then finally, again, just start the process, make application. This is how you do your due diligence. You'll get the ICA, Independent Contractors Agreement, read through it, get yourself approved, get that part done. So when you're ready to move, you can move in about 90 seconds. So in closing, what I want to say to you is this: 5 years from now, 7 years from now, where are you going to be? You can either be at EXP, thriving, winning stock awards and revenue share, making a difference in the world for your family's life, or if you choose to not even try, I'm going to find you. You're going to be running that office. You're going to be at your desk. You're going to be there at 7 o'clock at night, trying to get that listing, working with that buyer, kind of chasing your tail, just, doing what we do in real estate, and there's no end in sight. Be honest, it's exhausting. You love it, but wouldn't you like to have a chance to get out of the rat race, to make a difference in other people's lives, not just your own? And the only way you make it here is by taking your eyes off yourself, helping somebody else. You gotta help them. I didn't have to help them at RE/MAX or Keller, but at EXP, if you're gonna do this and get a lot of stock and revenue share, you gotta help other people succeed. So I can't wait to meet you at one of our events, either coming up in Cabo or our Build Conference this summer, August 17th and 18th and 19th with Tony Robbins, because we are building a legacy. We are building a future, something you can be proud of, something that is willable in perpetuity to your grandchildren's children. This is different, and I can't wait to meet you.